arrives loud enough for everyone to know he has entered. As if still in his prime, yells, "It's my birthday," but the crowd disagrees. He pleads his case between handshakes and one-liners. A politician working the crowd finds his way to our end of the bar. Breaking into our huddle, he announces to my friends with a tooth-filled grin that it was his birthday, and that he noticed we were not regulars. I buy him a whiskey, and his good eye told me it wasn't really his birthday, as he drank his shot of sadness. Looking for Sunflowers, the title poem. The tapestry of night, pinned by stars to the walls, turns in our sleep. The sidewalks tremble, narrow roads converge. Street lamps shadow the homeless and the late going home. The alabaster groaning in moonlight, the neon slashes down faded alleys. Lost saints wander the face of the city, not wanting to be found. Sirens peek around corners, blue and red echo off brick. Smoking philosophers scatting in doorways, rush of trains over the tide. The raindrops tiptoe around conversations before drowning in daylight. I'm going to read a few from I Talk to the Moon, chapbook from Wandering Head.
Try to be a little louder.
Poems are from our road trip my wife and I took our honeymoon over the summer. I Talk to the Moon for Jack Michelin. I'm talking to the moon tonight for you, Jack. I moved my feet and made it to California, a long way from home. And I talked to the moon in Asheville, and I talked to the moon in Nashville. I talked to the moon in New Orleans, where the waters rose above the doors, but the bars did not close. I talked to the moon in Texas in wide open spaces, where poems were like outlaws through the streets. And the moon talked to me as it shined in the sky and reflected like the white line of the highway. My insides spilled on the streets of Broadway in San Francisco, my heart thumping in Chinatown. I talked to the moon and rambled my dreams and my nightmares, and the moon talked to me, Jack. The moon talked to me. Reflections from the road. I cannot sleep tonight. Stars scream in my eyes. The train horn tosses and turns in my bed. Invisible children, stomachs as empty as their dreams, whimpering in the rush of night. Homeless clutching cardboard resumes and coffee cups, void of hope. Fragile voices asking my nightmares for change. Read one more. Perception of place. 1. On a coast far from mine, a patio garden under a fading blue sky. Birds and trees, wind knocks air loose, I breathe. 2. Flowered cliffs, ocean expanding, hurtling towards rocks, exploding fluffs of sea. Lavender clouds pour from the sun on a coast far from mine. The roar. I've turned my eyes to the sky after a long day of living, cursed the streets I've walked for too many years, reciting words to deaf ears. I've read poems in the ribs of buildings that died long ago. I've read poems on the sidewalk under the stars where strangers could hear. I've turned my eyes to the stars and recited poems to the moon shortly before sunrise, before the city awoke and the streets filled up with empty suits, wearing plastic hair like top hats, sucking down $10 lattes like vampires in a blood bank as they sit in the driver's seats of SUVs, careening in the fast lane toward a shallow, unmarked grave. Saturday morning at the book with my brother. The stable of gray faces, 9 to 5 professional gamblers all around. Eyes screaming at TVs, horses gallop across screens. Wrinkled hands gripping slips that will fall to the ground with each race and flutter in the smoke like broken dreams in the wind. And us, at the bar, just trying to get drunk before lunch. Winter blues. Last week in December, walking down Empire Street, bundled up and cold, a homeless woman in a thin jacket spoke up from a stoop. As I passed, I asked for 50 cents. Frozen hands searched pockets for change I was given around the corner at the bookstore for a collection of poetry I bought. Beside me, a woman whispered the money would be used to buy booze. But I thought to myself, during the holiday season, everyone deserves a chance to cut loose and forget.
Where's Empire Street?
Providence. City Night Blues. Leaving the bar, I passed the bus stop and tripped over sprawled legs. I followed them upwards towards the head that was resting on old newspapers. Looking lifeless on the cold bed, a leg kicked the cold off with a shiver. His eyes, blank and swollen, met mine. I knew he'd arrived at his last stop. Poem for Jack Michelin. An obituary from one of the papers. Jack Michelin was a poet, traveled around, grew up in Brooklyn, traveled all around the world writing poems. One of my favorite poets. He died on a BART train in San Francisco. I'm not even going to attempt the date.
Don't you think he was a West Coast poet?
Yeah, he's been...
Identified with it.
Yeah, he definitely seemed to identify with the West Coast. For Jack Michelin. An obituary from one of the papers I was reading this morning, I forget which one it was, described you as drifting westward. I imagine you toes above the ground, being navigated by each impulsive gust of wind. Eyes to the sky, ears open to conversations and smiles and frowns. Frowns that have been built and tapped in place by years of misfortune and lies. Lies from a system that masks the real racket of the American dream beneath beautiful costumes, concealing a corruption as if each day was Halloween, just filled with more nightmares. Two poems about Crazy Al, homeless man, wandered the streets of Jewett City when I was younger. Where have you gone, Crazy Al? Crazy Al, he limps faster down the sidewalks of my youth. Some say he may have been a veteran, the sun in the sky by the church, manicured lawn, past the old Catholic school that's run out of funds, closed down, and then became run down. The more they call to him, Crazy Al, on those sidewalks in the blue afternoon of my youth, the more I can see the old town, a group of kids who heard stories and now wanted to hear his view of the world with their own ears. Crazy Al, his pace quickens, never flinching or turning his head, keeps his distance from this pack of howling punks. He disappears into the first convenience store he can find, probably to buy a pack of cigarettes. The same store still doing business today. Crazy Al, he looks at us when he exits, responds in a straight and sad face. Sorry, kids, I thought you were communists. are you buried? I wonder to myself on this bright afternoon, where do they bury the bums that everyone knows by first names? Crazy Al, everyone greets him with a smile and a "how you doing, pal?" No one asked questions when he disappeared, just the kids that could see him on the streets through car windows on their way to Sunday school. They just kept on moving, assuming he went someplace else, and finally decided to leave town. Is there an invisible cemetery for all the invisible people all over the world to be buried in? Do they have funerals right in front of our eyes down by the railroad tracks, asking each other for cigarettes and wine at the reception? Bury me in an invisible cemetery with all the faces we don't see and all the stories we never heard. New London poem. Eminent domain. Less than a mile from here on the shores of the Thames River, vacant lots land our swamped sky, barren plots where houses used to stand and families gathered at times. Government trumped the people. When the tax exemption expired, the pharmaceutical company fled into the night under the moon beneath those skies like a thief, leaving behind the largest unoccupied office complex in town and a neighborhood of vacant lots. I have two more. Drums in the distance. This was written right down the road. Drums in the distance. Outside the cafe, a statue of Christopher Columbus stands with the world in his palm. Staring past the intersection out towards the sea he crossed to begin a downward spiral. Neruda's poems typed on the blood of rebellion, the sun still shines on Spain. A new world of systems, freedom of the dollar, freedom of the victors, the bones of 1,000 dead women and children on a trail of tears. The sun still shines on the Cherokee. 100 dead angels lay below Nat Turner swinging in the breeze. 35 free men sail home. The sun still shines on you. A child cries in the night, a family eats dinner in the dull glow of a parking lot. A mother leaves her third job, walks the cold streets home alone. The sun still shines on America. Outside the cafe in a small, well-kept park, Christopher Columbus stands with the world in his palms, and a man with holes in his boots huddled at his feet. I'll finish off with one more poem for Jack Michelin. Sing a song. Sing a song, Jack. Early morning, sun in the sky, that big yellow bird pulls up to the front walk of the school, and the doors open and a song falls down the stairs with kids wearing smiles out onto the front walk. And I asked the bus driver why she sings songs with the kids she brings to school every day and home every night. And she said to me, if they're singing songs, they're not fighting. They're not fighting. And I sat down on a bench with those words in my head, and I thought to myself, sitting in the sun, why can't rich old men sing songs together? Rich old men financing all these wars should sing songs together, and all the soldiers all over the world should sing songs together as their bones are bleached by the sun in the battlefields. And all the politicians in all the countries under the stars can get together and sing songs. They can all sing the same song. A song about the children. A song about the homeless. A song about the hungry. A song about the soldier whose bones are being bleached by the sun out in the battlefields. Thank you.